Spoiler warning, you have been warned. Uta was gifted with a beautiful voice since childhood. The red-haired pirates were her family and her biggest fans. One fateful evening, after performing in Elegia, a musical wonderland, she accidentally triggered an ancient curse. Someone had left the notes for Uta to recite, which initiated due to her singing devil fruit. The Tot Musica awakened a demon king who demolished the village and had to be stopped by Shanks and his crew. Upon waking from her slumber, Uta met the sole survivor, Gordon, who informed her the destruction was Shanks' responsibility in order to protect her and that he had left. Uta took this as a huge betrayal and abandonment. Years passed by, and Uta grew up learning music with Gordon. Eventually, she found a transponder and made first contact with the outside world. She held her first and greatest concert in Elegia. Tickets were sold out, and her fans worldwide tuned in. Representatives from the Marine, Cypher Pole, and Big Mom were in attendance, including the Straw Hat Pirates. The star of the show took center stage and left the crowd in awe. The once forsaken and torn island was lit up. After a remarkable performance by the diva, Luffy jumped in to convey his appreciation. Upon remembering her childhood friend, Uta warmly embraced Luffy and started to reminisce. Before they could walk down memory lane, the stage was stormed by gangs who wanted Uta's head. Nevertheless, using her Sing Sing Devil Fruit, Uta trapped them on a musical note, including Oven and Brûlée, Big Mom's children. After the dust settled and the bad guys were stuck, Uta proposed to Luffy a game of high-stakes chicken-eating competition. A game they used to play as kids to kill time and prove who was better. Sadly, Luffy fell for the oldest trick in Uta's book, distraction and deception. Everything seemed like bliss. It was a dream come true for her devoted audience. Using her devil fruit, Uta was able to conjure anything her mind conceived. She had the powers to turn musical notes to beverage. She also possessed the ability to cure the ill and heal the injured. Uta became the New Age Messiah, resurrecting and controlling people. Or should I say, she became the one-eyed Antichrist. Oda loves to include mythology and theology in his work. We had Zeus from Greek mythology, Neptune from Norse mythology, mermaids, krakens, hellhounds, giants, vampire bats, fishmen, and all sorts of creatures. There might be a high probability Islamic theology could be next. The D could stand for Dajjal, the Antichrist, who is also an enemy of the divine and who will usher a dawn of a new era. Uta might be a clue. Her true form was revealed when she attacked the Straw Hats and waged war against the Marines. The elders took this as a sign of disrespect and defiance. Admiral Akainu commanded 30 warships to be sent. Vice Admiral Kizaru and Fujitora were in control of the operation. Since Uta was a childhood friend and the daughter of his mentor Shanks, Luffy refused to fight back. As a result, his entire crew was locked up. Luckily for him, Bartolomeo and Law came to save him from her deadly grasp. What was once a cute diva now turned to a vicious empress of evil, forming an army and a militia. Uta found their hide spot and ended up shrinking Beppo, a commander of Law's pirate crew. Her vibrant smile quickly turned to disdain and contempt. She captured Luffy for a second time and took away his beloved straw hat. Had it not been for Law, they would have been indefinitely restrained. Suddenly, the Marine arrived on the scene and confronted Uta. Upon seeing everyone unconscious, they quickly realized the extent of her powers. Everyone who heard her sing was entrapped by her voice and inserted into her personal utopia. The only drawback to her devil fruit is having to stay awake long enough to keep everyone in the simulation she created. In order to combat her sleep deprivation, Uta was consuming a wake fruit, which would keep her awake but would cause her to die in a few hours. The Marine had an inkling of her powers and brought sound-canceling headsets. Uta then commanded the unconscious fans to attack without thought or emotion. They became walking zombies. Inside the simulated reality, Kobe and Blueno figured out a method to release the prisoners. By singing the tune they were placed as, Brook volunteered and freed Nami first. One by one, they all got out and headed to a hidden labyrinth to uncover the secrets of the Tot Musica. Uta was preoccupied dealing with an arrogant celestial dragon who required an attitude adjustment. Before Uta could perform her next piece, Kobe interrupted her with an urgent message for the audience. He informed them how Uta was lying to them all along and that the reality they were in was a deceptive lie, to which the crowd was split in two factions, one protesting her dishonesty and the other admiring her resolve to build a new era. In a moment of frustration and anxiety, Uta decided to turn everyone into toys and sweets. What was once a delightful dream turned into a horrible fantasy nightmare. After it was all said and done, she was left alone to ponder her actions in silent contemplation. Meanwhile, Robin had uncovered the secrets behind the Tot Musica from an inscribed tablet. She later informed everyone of the only way to escape, and that was to launch simultaneous attacks on the Demon King from both realities. While the squad was stuck thinking of a plan, Luffy went ahead to face Uta head-on. Refusing to see eye to eye, Uta launched her minions at Luffy, which was honestly child's play for Luffy, who easily kept swatting them away like pesky flies. But then, his emotions got the best of him and he succumbed to her will. She urged him to give up the foolish pursuit of the One Piece and to stop following Shanks and Roger. Luffy's refusal left her no choice but to tear his symbol, the prestigious straw hat. An heirloom passed down from Joy Boy to Roger, then to Shanks, and now to Luffy. When Uta understood Luffy's adamant stubbornness, she bid her goodbye in the real world and decided to kill an unconscious Luffy in cold blood. Right before the moment of impact, she was stopped by an unknown figure. As she looked up in bewilderment, there they were, her long-lost father and family standing in front of her at last. Her confusion turned into hysterical laughter. Her dark side had emerged from the depth of her ominous aura. Kizaru saw this as an opportunity to strike down Uta, even if it meant innocent lives would be lost. The elders feared what would happen to the world if this tragedy continued and ordered the extermination of everyone on the island. Unfortunately for the Marine, one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Yonko, was present to thwart their plans. With a single slash, Shanks crippled Kizaru's attack, negated his Logia Devil Fruit, and sliced the hill clean. As powerful as Kizaru is, he was no match for Shanks and capitulated on the spot. In the fantasy world, Uta was growing desperate and relied on the musica to end everything. She sung the demonic words and summoned the devilish monstrosity. Luffy tried his best to reason with her and negotiate, but his words fell on deaf ears. Everyone was left in a pickle, and no one knew whether there was outside intervention. In the real world, the Marine soldiers were shooting at ordinary civilians in an attempt to quell matters once and for all. The tides turned when the good guys started killing innocents and when the banished pirates started to save them. From the real world, Shanks was giving it his all to destroy the Demon King for the second time, but due to Uta's growth and progress, so did her Devil Fruit, which granted more power to the musica. In the fantasy realm, Luffy was fighting for his life and for the lives of his crew, since Uta had minutes to live, and when she dies, everyone goes along with her. Finally realizing what she had done, Uta burst into tears. She honestly had good intentions in the beginning, but she let things get out of hand. To help in the rescue, Katakuri showed up with the help of Brulee's mirror. Everyone was fighting with every inch of their life. Usopp had gained observation haki and was able to communicate with his father and perceive what he was able to see. They both coordinated and led the attack, instructing everyone to attack simultaneously. After they destroyed the demon's limbs, legs, and arms, Luffy and Shanks delivered the decisive blow. That was when Shanks came across a lost memory. A flashback showed that Uta wasn't his biological daughter, and how he found her the same way Rogers and Rayleigh found him. It must have been fate, Shanks thought, fighting side by side with Luffy, about to end the life of their cherished daughter and friend. Even if it meant the death of Uta, they had to do what needed to be done. In the end, Shanks got the parting he always wanted, and Uta received the embrace she always desired. A final farewell.